The Sarasota school was a big influence on me. I grew up, around it, and there were guys like Paul Rudolph, Victor Lundy, Gene Leedy, and a group of others who were doing this incredibly modern work in Florida, in Sarasota, Florida, in the 40s and 50s, and it was a time when air conditioning existed, but it was so expensive no one used it. So these guys were doing these beautiful buildings and homes using passive and regional ideas, that are really relevant today. And that was a big influence on me and helped shape the way that I work too, thinking about making the buildings first passively sustainable before we do any kind of active systems on the buildings. Their challenges of making a large project sustainable are quite different than the smaller one, but there's also great opportunities. There are systems which you can use on large projects which just make absolutely no sense on smaller ones. And you can do some really innovative things. We're doing a project right now where we're doing some real innovation using the city water for heating and cooling of our buildings. So in essence, we'll be doing a net zero building by just using the cold water that comes from the municipal water. The projects are different in a certain kind of way. They serve different tenant populations. Step Up is for mentally disabled people, and Cherokee is a market rate, so you would think there would be quite a bit of difference, but in truth, we really treat them much the same. And the reason is we think just because someone has some disability or is poor or any other thing doesn't mean they shouldn't have good quality architecture. So we tend to treat them more alike than one might imagine. There are some amenities that on a market rate you wouldn't see in mentally disabled housing, and there are also a lot of things in the housing for mentally disabled you wouldn't see in a market rate housing either, but by and large the attitude is much the same.